ready to put it out there. But everybody I show it to goes, oh, I like that.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good reaction.
So,
but with being a visual person, we have new kinds of guests coming up on our show.
I know, and I'm excited.
Yeah. We're having a couple visual artists, hopefully at least one.
At least one. I've reached out to several. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to have visual artists, even though this is on the air.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make sure we got all the artists that we could of different mediums. And so we have on... I'm talking to her on Wednesday, and it'll air in the next episode after this one. Dawn Baker from Gander.
Ah.
Now, Dawn might be known as a writer of children's books, but she's mostly a visual artist, and her books the illustrations are amazing in there, and she does them all, and so the stories spring from the illustrations, and vice versa, I guess. They're both inspired. So she has a new project. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but she's going to tell you when we have the show.
Yeah.
But I'll be talking to her Wednesday, and she is a wonderful artist. And, I have paintings of hers, prints in the house, and she does a lot of sort of folk Newfoundland style, but also does some other stuff that's just... I don't think people are familiar with. That's just, people, portraiture, and stuff like that. She's really good. She's multi-talented. So.
I'm pretty sure I've seen, you sent me a picture, or I saw it online, of her work. And she has a very, very familiar style that I think either I've seen her work before, I've seen someone that might be similar, but it's very distinctive. So I think it probably was her. But I've followed, as a youngster learning to paint and draw, I've copied people's art. And then, you tear it up, throw it away. I'm not copywriting people's work, but I think she was somebody that I took inspiration from her.
If you had her children's books, you would have seen her art, right? Because she wrote, I can't even remember the names of the books now. It's just gone. She just did one on Fogo Island. It has a picture of the inn in it. But she's known for, she did the Puffin Patrol, which is the Puffins down in Witless Bay, and there's a little story about the Puffins. But even going way back, I think there might be an alphabet book, and Saltwater Joys, maybe, or something like that. I don't know if that's hers or not. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, she had, so I used to get them in Ontario, because they would send the kids books of people down here. That's what they would send me, right? And so I'd read them to the kids, and they would be very familiar. I think you would have seen them around the library.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, she's one of the top children's authors in the province. I think probably most recognized, and a lovely person. Just if all the people on Earth were like her, the Earth would be wonderful. Because she is just a fantastic human being as well. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So she's in Gander.
To hear that one.
Yeah, so I will be talking to her, and I'm sure it'll be fun, and we've connected over the last couple of years through, book stuff, the tour, and now even more, because she's also with Flanker.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's not relevant. I loved her before. But she is a Flanker author, so.
Everything's connected.
And she had, one of her paintings was on the cover of the Central Voice. The Christmas edition with the wreath on the door.
Yeah.
That's Dawn's. Yeah.
That was the picture I saw.
Yeah. So that was her painting on there. So they wanted a painting instead of just a photograph, and I thought that was a beautiful choice. So, yep. So she did that, and so she'll be, and of course she'll be doing this, and then I'll have a column in Art and Soul in the Central Voice as well. So she's gonna, be all over the place.
That's awesome.
So that's about it. We could talk forever, couldn't we? We're chatting. I am managing.
You're feeling better?
Was therapeutic.
Good.
Yeah. So that's about it.
Yeah. I think, why don't you tell us about our Avion players.
Yeah, so I spoke with Nick Mercer last week, and actually July 2nd, because we need to keep doing these shows, and I need to keep doing the column. So he contacted me because I had done Beyond the Overpass Theatre, and I guess it's a very small community in Gander. So, and they have a show coming up on January 20th and 21st at the Arts and Culture Centre. It's a sketch comedy show, and he'll talk about it in the interview. But I'll give it a plug here too. 20th and 21st at the Arts and Culture Center. But the Avion Players have been around for 66 years.
Whoa.
And they are community theater, but from what I understand, like way beyond what you would normally see us. You know how Newfoundlanders are? We take the arts and we just excel. So even though they're a community theater group, it's not professional theater. It has a professional level of talent to it. And so, yeah, they're doing a show on January. They do 3 shows a year now. One before Christmas, like fall. And then they do one for the Provincial Drama Festival, which is in April, I think. And then they've just added last year and this year comedy sketch concert type thing. So apparently last year it had rave reviews and sold tons of tickets and everybody wanted it again. So Nick Mercer is who I spoke with. He's the vice president of Avion Players and he wrote the comedy. So he's the writer. So apparently, I'm told that I gotta go. That it's a riot, pee your pants riot, and that you have to go. So, and we had a good laugh on the interview too. He's a funny guy and
a good person to be writing comedy. Then.
Yeah. You could tell he had the and he tells all about the inspiration and the characters that he comes up with and that sort of thing, and a lot of them are people he knows, and so it's quite interesting to see how that works out. But
that sounds fun.
It was a good interview. So that's where we're going now. We'll talk to Nick Mercer of Avion Players in Gander. Avion. Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
Well, I'm better than the weather this morning.
That's pretty easy. For the listeners, for the listeners out there, we're recording this in advance. So if you're looking, going, "Oh, it's beautiful," what are they talking about? The day that we're recording this, there is a major storm happening. A lot of snow. So it's. I'm not leaving the house until it melts. That's it. That's my plan. No shoveling for me.
I'm with you. I'm with you there.
I think we got lots of food in. We're okay. We might run out of eggs and milk, but we can live on beans. I mean, you can live on beans for a long time.
Well, I mean, I have Christmas cookies to last at least another month for sure.
Good. I didn't bake this year. I bake a lot in Christmas, and I'm so busy, and so I bake the stuff that I give away. Like I always bake for friends and stuff. I have my specialties, and so I was like, this is bad. We don't have a lot of baking, and I mentioned it to a couple of people. Well, that was because they'd bake too much.
That was a mistake, wasn't it?
I wouldn't call it a mistake.
No,
it was actually
a happy mistake.
It was actually something I stored away as a good plan. I don't need to bake. I just need to wine. So,
there you go. Yeah. Take a page from your book next year.
There you go. Well, yeah, I have cookies. I put it in the freezer because I'm thinking it may be cold outside, but with the wood heat, this stuff's not going to last. I better freeze it and save it. I'll probably be eating fruitcake and Easter. So, anyway, that's fine. So we're here to talk about the Avion or Avion? How do you say that?
Avion.
That's how I say it, but so Avion Players, and so I think we'll start with simply, who are they? What is the Avion Players?
Oh, Avion was actually formed in 1953, which this year now is 66 years ago, by a local thespian here in town called Barbara Baird. She's recently now since passed away. Many people around the island know Barbara. Actually, the Basement Theatre in St. John's was just renamed after her a couple of years ago. But Barbara formed the group as basically an amateur theatre group here in town. We don't usually say amateur anymore. It's more so community theatre because the caliber of theatre is usually, although we're not professionals, is usually up to a professional standard. So we're actually a community theatre group here in Gander.
Perfect. And what is your role specifically within the organization?
I've had many different roles, actually, with Avion. This year, I'm actually sitting on the board of directors as the vice president. Some years, I'm not on the board of directors. I'm just a member, but I've been on stage with them as an actor. I've brought shows to the stage as a director. The beauty of community theater is you kind of wear a different hat each year, and you're not sure what that is until you go in and you find out what the group needs that year, and then you kind of take it from there. So each year is kind of a little bit of a surprise.
So, how long have you been involved?
I've been with Avion now, I would say, probably 11, 12 years. After I got out of high school, I had a job here in Gander, so I stuck around a bit, and then I was looking for something to get involved in. I was always interested in theater growing up through school and whatnot. And many of these people who were in the group, I watched myself on stage. And since I was sticking around town, I decided to get involved in the group. And we always say once you start with Avion, it's almost like a black hole in a good way, but you can't get away from it. It becomes something very special to you, and it's something you look forward to each year to get up and on to go again and running.
It's a Hotel California. You can't ever leave.
There you go.
There you go.
And probably just as cool, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I have full disclosure. I have not attended a performance. I'm fairly new. I'm only back in the province 6 years, and I don't live in Gander, so I have not attended a performance. But I certainly, especially since I'm so involved in the arts, and I've heard people say, "Well, you should check it out. You should check it out," and so I certainly intend to do that. But people don't talk about it as though it were just community theater. It has a reputation, as you said. The quality of the performance seemed to be that, like I said, people don't think of it as amateur. Where do most of the people who are a part of the organization come from? Are they just regular people? Do they have acting backgrounds? Are they just like, this is something looks like fun? How does where do they come from? I know what you told your story.
Sure. Yeah, the members of the group literally are like from all walks of life. We do have people who have training and backgrounds, but we also have people. We have people who are ER doctors. We have teachers. We have lawyers. We have everyone from every walk of life. And this is not an audition type of group. Anyone who would like to get involved in community theater, we welcome. And anyone from people who want to be behind the scenes or to on stage. It really is just a group of people within the community who love the arts, and we welcome everyone, really.
And how many people would you say right now are involved?
I don't know for sure, but I do know in past years, and usually the numbers don't change a whole lot. We usually lose some members because of people moving away or other commitments, and then we usually gain some members. But each year, I think the membership, we usually have 40 or 40 plus paid up members every year. Now, these people, some people just pay to have a membership to say that they're there to support the group, and some are very hands-on. So it really depends on the level of activity they want to get involved within the group. But yeah, usually it's around 40 or so.
That's a good number to of supporters to have who are really committed to an organization. That's a healthy number.
For sure.
So that's good to hear.
We're very thankful.
Yeah.
Some of the groups around the province, the other community groups, are struggling a bit with numbers. So we do feel very fortunate that we're able to hold on to a really good core, and then every year we add some people to that as well.
That's wonderful, yeah. So let's talk a bit about the performances that you do. How often do you produce, how often do you do a production?
We usually, I say usually now because it's changed the last couple of years, but usually we do 2 major staged productions a year. One is our fall production, and then the second one we usually do is our festival production, which is usually right before Easter week, before we take it to the provincial festival. In the last 2 years now, we've been stepping it up with a third show. I don't know if we're crazy to do that because it's a lot of work, and it usually takes the amount of time to do the 2 productions that we have. But the last couple of years we've been stepping it up with this new sketch comedy show that we premiered last year, and we're going to do another installment of it this year.
Is there a type of show that you prefer to do? Are they generally Newfoundland themed? Are they generally comedy? Or does it vary?
It varies completely from year to year and who's interested in getting involved or directing or bringing a show to the table.